11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. What a fight! I think Guerrero won it.
Juan, the Hispanic causing panic, Lascano.
And thanks to those joining me live and those that be joining me on the archive. D-Style here. If you're watching on the archive, hit the like button, hit the bell. That way you're notified every time D-Style comes on live. Man, oh man, do we got to do today? A lot to talk about today. A lot to touch on today. I got someone that's going to jump on with me in a little bit. But make sure you guys hit the like button if you haven't already, by the way, and share this video on your social media platform. And I appreciate everyone who does. All right. Tag me on Twitter at D-Style Boxing if you're watching and share it. All that good stuff. You know what I mean? It doesn't hurt. Right. And it is that time of the year. So,
Feliz
Navarrete.
Feliz
Navarrete.
Feliz
Navarrete.
Próspero año y felicidad.
Feliz Navarrete, everybody. It's Feliz Navarrete all year long, by the way. You get to celebrate it all the time. All right. Let's go ahead and get our good friend here, Ryan O'Hara. Some questions too, and let's get him on. Ryan O'Hara, how's it going, brother?
Hey, doing well. How about you guys?
I'm doing really good. Me, myself, and I, huh? Like me, myself, and you guys. But a couple of things. What is your opinion on this whole fiasco right now with the WBC, Terrance Crawford? Where's your stance with it?
I think it's a joke. I mean, Mauricio is just hungry for money as always. I mean, I don't know.
Right.
He makes his dad look like a saint, and I didn't think that was possible, but yeah. I mean, it's just Kim Jong Sulaiman. I call him that for a reason.
Well, I call him Sloppy Sulaiman, but I guess everyone has a name for him, right?
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, this is the same guy. This is the same guy who literally tried to tell people that Beterbiev was no longer Russian because he lived in Canada. And that was his reasoning to block Undisputed, because he wanted to look cool with all these other folks that were, angry at Putin. I'm like, what? Okay. So Beterbiev is now Canadian, according to Sulaiman, which means that if Dmitry Bivol adopted his Korean heritage and just moved to Seoul, then now it's going to be, a Canadian versus a South Korean fight. It's just a complete joke.
Conveniently, once the Saudis got involved, he didn't give a shit if these guys were Russian, because he was going to get a sanctioning fee out of it, right? Since they were footing the bill. It's just funny how all that works. It's crazy. When I say funny, I mean it in an ironic way. Why can't the WBC pay the same amount the IBF paid, the WBO paid, the WBA paid? They paid the amount. Even if they held their nose and did it, they still did it, right? We don't know if they complained or not. We don't know if they did it reluctantly, but they did it, right? What makes the WBC above all? And I'll give you some kind of stuff that Mauricio has insinuated as to why he should get more, right? One, he says they were very instrumental, WBC was, in making the fight with Crawford and Canelo happened. His words, right? That the WBC did a lot of promoting, that they went to the gyms, they promoted the event, they created a ring for the winner, right? A nice little ring for the winner. They created that purple belt. They always make these special belts. They made T-shirts, and the WBC basically helped promote this event and help them make life-changing money, is what Mauricio will say, right? As to why he's entitled to that money. But to your answer to that is what?
My answer to that is Terrance Crawford put himself in position to win the belt himself. So I feel like the fighter should, get more of an incentive rather than a guy who's just out to basically steal money from people. He'll say 0.6%, but 300. It's 0.6%. So that doesn't sound like a lot, but it's actually 300 grand. You could literally buy a house, mansion in Nashville,
It
Tennessee,
sounds
or
like a lot to me. 300,000.
that's a lot of fucking money. So
That's a lot of money, especially going to a non-profit organization. By the way, right? Like this is what.
supposedly,
Right. Which brings me to the reason I wanted to bring you on. You had a tweet out. I'll bring it up in a little bit about the WBC and the Jose Sulaiman Fund. One of the things, and I call it a tactic that Mauricio Sulaiman did when talking about the Terrance Crawford situation, why they stripped him. He did mention, hey, look, most of it wasn't even going to come directly to WBC. It was going to go to the Jose Sulaiman Fund, and he and him, along with the lawyer, by the way, have gone out of the way to mention what the Jose Sulaiman Fund does. It helps broke fighters in need, help pay their bills, medical bills, whatnot, right?
that's what they claim.
That's that. Well, I'm sure they do some of those stuff, especially they need to do it for PR reasons. They need to do some of it. But how much of what they actually collect actually goes to the Jose Sulaiman Fund?
Exactly. I think the number I posted was what, 995,000 in 13 years. So not a whole lot. I mean, they're trying to claim that $225,000 of this fee would go to that fund. That's literally 23%, which is seems like a stretch to me that this one fighter would contribute that much to a fund that they really haven't added too much over the last 12 to 13 years.
Right.
So it's kind of like recycling. It's like they have recycling, but in reality, only about 2% of things are recycled, maybe less than that. And so with this, I doubt that maybe less than 1% of this money would have even gone to the fund in the first place. Yep, Kim Jong Sulaiman.
so according to this, let's just say $1 million has been allocated to the WBC Jose Sulaiman Fund in 13 years, right?
Yep.
And I mean, it's crazy. Like I mean, talk about a shaming tactic, right? Like it's just like man, and most of us are gonna go to fighters in need. How dare you? Now they're gonna, I guess, fighters are gonna start dying now, and they're not gonna be able to pay their bills because of Terrance Crawford. Is basically essentially what he's insinuating here. But now I know these figures are what they are, but I know I saw this one as well. I don't know if you've seen this one, right? This is from Claire Burke. I don't know her, to be honest with you. I just saw this post.
Yeah,
right?
she's I think she's the president or vice president of the ABF, the American Boxing Federation.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yep.
All right. So what's the American Boxing Federation do?
They also do fights and stuff, but they're not as well known as like the IBF, and the WBA.
Oh, there's just another like a smaller sanctioning body.
It's a smaller sanctioning body that no one really knows about. Yeah.
All right. So according to her, the WBC wants us to most of their sanctions if you go to Jose Sulaiman Boxers Fund, saying 225,000 Crawford's 200,000 fee were going to go to the fund, but the fund administered by the Nevada Community Foundation has only distributed 2.4 million since 2012, while a single fund raising gale for the fund raised 1.2 million. One must conclude that the allocating 225 from a single 300,000 sanction fee would be unusually large and unbelievable when the fund's total lifetime disbursements are 2.4 million since 2012, and the numbers don't add up. And as she mentioned, a lot of that came from this one fundraising that they did back in 2019, not from a sanctioning fee. So there you go. So that means only 995,000 was allocated to the fund. So it correlates with the numbers you put out.
Yeah.
If now the WBC can easily, and I'm totally doing the show me your freedom papers thing to them. Yeah, I think there should be an audit. If you're going to making these claims, I think there should be an audit, in my opinion.
Absolutely. But at the same time, who's going to make that audit? It's ridiculous. You just can't trust any of these fools.
Yeah.
It's a real shame. It's a shame. And Sulaiman, he's a smart guy. He really is. He knows that 95% of boxing fans aren't very bright, and they're just going to run with whatever he says. Because
I think
you got broke guys on Twitter saying, "Oh man, he's rich. Why doesn't he pay the $300,000?" Okay, like if you had that much money, would you be willing to just pay that for no reason to keep a belt that you're not even going to keep anyway? So why would you pay it in the first place?
no,
So
look,
it's ridiculous.
you covered boxing for a long time. I don't know if you still do. You take a break, or like, is it kind of like
I'm so done with boxing. I mean, I'll
it,
still
it,
write articles, but
it's
I'm done covering
hockey
fights.
all day, every day? Is that what it is
It's
now?
hockey. That's what I'm doing right now. And got home from the rink. Avs and the Rangers are playing right now, so it's I'm having way more
How
fun.
are I've seen highlights of it, but like, is fighting really a thing in hockey? Like, do they take a break to let some steam off and stuff like that? So then he hit you
Oh
with his
yeah, I
puck.
mean they tussle and do all that stuff. Every other
Is there a
play.
sanction if you when they tussle?
No, if you do something like egregiously bad, you get fined.
Right.
You can get suspended if you go too far. Let's say you go up to a guy and you cross check him in the face with your stick. You'll probably get a $5,000 fine, which is like the maximum amount that you can be fined under the
Yeah.
collective
Like,
bargaining agreement.
what's crazy is that in boxing, they don't fine you for doing bad things. They fine you for winning championships. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They fine you when you do great things, and the greater the thing is, the more money you got to pay. It's just that's the way boxing functions, apparently.
Or if you're
Um,
Ryan Garcia, you can drop the N word and get rewarded with a title shot.
that along with the other things he did, plus
Yeah.
getting his ass whooped, right?
Yeah.
Because even if somebody comes, well, I don't care. It's fighting. It's not moral. Okay, fine. Well, how about getting his ass whooped by Rolly and getting rewarded with a title shot? How about that? Here's what I like, and the reason I brought up, you cover boxing for years. You tell me if I'm wrong about anything I'm saying here, okay?
Okay.
The sanctioning bodies are theoretically supposed to be, or they are by definition, um, non-profit organizations. Yes,
Pretty much.
that's how they file their taxes, right? Well, whenever they file taxes,
As far as I
I
know,
looked.
that's what they do.
Yeah, I looked up the taxes that they filed in Florida and stuff. But yeah, they
Yeah.
definitely put stuff as a nonprofit. For those that don't know, right? So they should function as a nonprofit. And basically, I am not against sanctioning fees. Like, it's not like, oh, I'm over here. I don't want fighters to pay nothing. No, what I'm against extortion is what I'm against. All right.
Hmm.
And my thing is, a sanctioning fee should cover operating costs and the salaries of the people that run the nonprofit organization. That's it. Full stop. Nothing else should be. You're not there to make profit. You're not there to get extra money for your charity. You're not there to do any of that, right? That's not what it's supposed to be about. Like, when Mauricio comes out, I know he thinks it's a flex, and I see why it works on some people when he says, "Look, most of it's going to go to the Jose Sulaiman fund," and you're not like, dude, you can't extort people to donate to your charity. That's not how it works, bro.
Hmm.
I've never when it worked, they didn't extort me for me to make a donation to them, right? That's not what they did. They didn't give me the beanie and say, "All right, now give me the money." Like that's not what they didn't shake me down after they gave me the beanie, bro. No, I made a donation and say, "Hey, thank you very much. We appreciate it." And then they gave me a beanie, right? Shout out to the Wounded Warriors Fund, right? They don't
Mhm.
extort, and I don't know a charity. I don't know any charity that extorts people in order to give them money. I don't know one. I don't know any of them. Can Crawford do? Can fighters like claim sanctioning fees on their taxes
I mean, I would if I were them.
if it's going to charities? So you might as well, the way I see it. Quite
Yeah, it is a
frankly,
charitable donation, but then at the same time, you have to ask yourself: is this really going to a charity?
right? I mean that's
Yeah,
the thing, but because the problem Mauricio is running into right now, right, is that people are asking questions that they weren't even asking before. If you would have just shut up and taken a sanctioning fee, nobody would be asking. No, he wouldn't be even be under the microscope. But now, not that we didn't pay attention before, but now people are really like calling them out, like they're really doing it.
because it's
Um,
really obvious, especially with the whole Shockey Foster Stephen Fulton thing. Like, oh, you blew
yeah,
weight. Now we're gonna create another fake belt so I can collect fees. So obviously, this is not about your charity. This is about you collecting money, which we already knew. But at least some, I would say, some of the boxing public are finally starting to catch on. Are starting to catch on. But that's all Mauricio's fault.
I'll take it further. I really will. The only people that are siding with Mauricio Sulaiman, the only ones, are people that are anti-Bud no matter what. Like, you know what I mean? I call them the anti-Bud
That
no matter
too.
what crowd. Like Bud could do anything. Bud could save an old lady from like getting hit by a car, and they'll find something negative about it. So it's just what it is, right? There's just that crowd, and then there is the establishment crowd, right? That has bought into the whole. Oh, it's because he's a mouthpiece for TKO. He's a mouthpiece for Riyadh season, and the you have the Deloyas of the world coming out and saying, "Oh my God, I can't believe that you did this," so you got those two crowds, to be honest with you, and then of course, and you do have like the ones you mentioned that are like, "Oh, Crawford's just being cheap, and he doesn't want to pay the sanctioning fee. He's a cheap ass, yada yada yada." But my thing would be right if most of it's going to go to a charity and not about operating costs, not about the salary of Mauricio Sulaiman. This is about supposedly it's all going to go to a charity. That's why you're going to strip Crawford when 80% of that money is going to go to a charity. You're going to strip him like that. Just it doesn't even sound right, bro. Like just saying it doesn't sound right.
Hmm.
And what I would say to anybody, if your job deducted $2, just $2 from your paycheck, and you noticed it, right? And it says an undisclosed amount, and you ask, because at that point it's about the principle, right? And you ask, hey, where's those $2 going to? Why'd you guys take that money from me? Right? Come on, what are you cheap as? It's only $2. What's the big deal? Plus, those $2, it's going to go to a foundation that helps kids with cancer. You piece of shit. Why are you asking about your $2 coming out of your check? You cheap ass motherfucker! Like, you're going to feel some type of way about it, right? And we're not talking
Yep,
about $2 here. We're talking about 250. We're talking about 300 grand, right? This is nuts.
that's a
Sorry.
lot of money. And the craziest thing is that even just weeks before all this, when TKO and all of them are trying to change the Muhammad Ali Boxing Act, you had a lot of establishment reporters speaking out against it.
Yep.
And now some of those establishment reporters are actually saying, "Hey, maybe TKO might be a good option given all the crap that Mauricio Sulaiman's been doing over the last few weeks." They're finally opening up and realizing, "Wow, there's something really wrong with their system." I don't know what took them so long, but at least they're on the right page now.
Right. And by the way, Mauricio Sulaiman comes out here. Right? He's a sanctioning body president. He loves to lecture everybody about accountability and responsibilities and everybody knowing their roles and why is the ring getting involved with belts and why even though they've been involved with belts since forever now, right?
Yep.
Before the WBC even existed, there was a ring belt, right? But whatever, right? He wants to be the arbiter of everybody needs to know their roles and this, that, and the third. Why is he like shaming Crawford for not paying because he did all this promoting when he's not a promoter?
Which he
I
didn't
mean,
do.
well, it's again, and it goes back to the whole
Yeah.
like you probably didn't do it anyway, but even if you did, you shouldn't have done it. right? Like this is the rock and the hard place that Mauricio Sulaiman finds himself in, right?
Hmm.
It's I agree with you. He probably didn't do much promoting anyway, right? Whatever he may classify as promoting, it could be whatever it is, right? Um, but can somebody explain to me? I mean, like, or maybe you can, Ryan. Like, if the WBC like, why is Mauricio anyway? Why is he doing podcasting? He does his own podcast now, right? Now technically you're media now because you're doing a podcast, right? Why is Mauricio Suleiman, right? Why is he the president for life, bro? That's what I want to know. What makes him the president of the WBC? Because I honestly don't know the answer to that question. Like his dad died, he just inherited it. Is it like why do we have to deal with this dude and there's no repercussions, there's no checks, no one's auditing him, there's no checks and balances here.
I think I wrote a story on this like 6 or 7 years ago. Basically, anyone could just create a belt. All you have to do is literally hire someone to make a belt for you. You can make your own organization, promote it, and then you can start charging people to, have your belt. And that's how a lot of these sanctioning, but like the NBA, the National Boxing Association, they had a fake belt. NBA, there was the NBA title. Then another person created a fake version of the NBA and started collecting money off that. And I remember breaking that story, and it's like literally minutes after it went out, the president of the fake association blocked me off every social media platform. So
Yeah, but I
obviously, I
guess
touched the
I
button.
guess it's one thing if just if D Style creates the D Style Boxing Association and whatever, right?
Yeah.
But the WBC's been around since the '60s, right?
Hmm.
And they claim to have like this board of governors. They claim like they act like they're FIFA or some shit, right? They claim they have like a board of governors. They claim it's like this system, this legitimate system, right? There's a board, and like so how does one become a part of the like? How can anybody challenge Mauricio Suleiman? Does he just own the WBC,
I
or
mean,
is he
pretty much.
just
I mean, I do know some people that work for the WBC, but I haven't talked to them in years. I don't even really know what their roles are. I know that they walk around carrying the belts every now and then, but I couldn't tell you what they actually do. And then I know one of the attorneys, and she's always been nice, but
okay?
pretty much Mauricio rules the show. And I remember having a conversation with him. I think this is probably 2020. This was like night before Wilder and Fury fought in the second fight, and Mauricio introduced me to his kids and told me that, hey, once I'm done, these guys are going to take over. I'm like, oh, these dorks. And in my mind, I'm like, nice. Yeah,
This is absolutely insane,
yeah.
but hey, man, I do want to thank you for coming on.
No, of course, man.
Anything you want to add before I let you go here, as far as this, anything that you feel people need to understand about this situation?
They need to understand that Mauricio is pretty much a dictator, and he might be nice to talk to in person, but he's not a good dude. I mean, it's very obvious that he's not a good dude, but he puts on a great show though. He'll be nice to your face, and then you'll do this to Bud Crawford, all because he beat Canelo. I mean, obviously, the WBC should really stand for "We Back Canelo," and that's what it all comes down to. Because what Mauricio's gonna basically said that Canelo is gonna be first in line to get the title back. So it's just a whole cycle of BS, is what it is.
Yeah, he doesn't even hide it, does he? Like he doesn't
No, he
even
doesn't,
like
because he doesn't have to, because he knows that he's untouchable.
well, he's not
Um,
like that. That's where we disagree. I think
yeah,
he's realizing he's not untouchable. I think
yeah. I think more people are starting to
there's
realize it.
some
Yeah.
cracks. There's some cracks forming, you know, and once there's a small crack, it starts to like you can see with the with the dam, like it'll start, it'll burst at some point, And
He's
I think
he's probably feeling vulnerable because of the emergence of TKO. I
yes.
think that he wasn't expecting Dana White and Turki Al-Sheikh to basically form an
Look,
allegiance.
he did.
So
Look. He basically capitulated immediately to the Saudis, right? He dropped the whole like beef with the ring as soon as Turk Al Sheikh bought it. Like, he shut up about it, right? And
yeah,
then he even added the ring, by the way, on that special ring. No pun intended, right? That he created for the winner or whatever. He added the ring belt even on there, and so he dropped all that, and he even named um, they named the Man of the Year, the WBC Man of the Year, Turk Al Sheikh. You know what I mean? Like he 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 has a whole tournament in Saudi going on right now, the WBC Grand Prix and all that. Like he tried to capitulate and get along and to get along, but I think he's realizing where the gravy train's going. I think he realizes where a lot of those funds are going to go, right? But it is what it is, brother.
and I used to talk to a promoter that was very close to Mauricio, and yeah, there are a good number of people in Mauricio's circle that basically tell him what to do and give him advice and whatnot.
Mm.
That promoter passed away a while ago. No one really knew about it, which is kind of crazy, but yeah, he would tell me all the things. He would tell Mauricio like what he's doing wrong, what he should be doing, and that sort of
Well,
thing. So Mauricio has a few people that he does listen to.
well, Well, he's gonna have to listen soon enough to more people. All right, maybe
Exactly.
they'll just. I guess it'll just be a foundation to share it in the future. By the way things are going, in my opinion, but we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Thanks for having me on.
For sure, brother. Have a good one.
You too. We'll see you. Peace out, boxing.
All right, shout out to Ryan O'Hara. Always glad to have people on here. We're gonna let's share this. By the way, I mean, guys, look. I just want to make sure we share this because if this is true, this is damning to Mauricio Sulaiman, right? And we got fighters walking around, by the way. We got fighters walking around, right? That are like, oh, yeah. By the way, if anybody wants to hop on, I mean, it's not going to be a full panel. You could come on, kind of like a call. Like, you come on, give your thoughts, and then we'll keep it running, right? But there's the link if you want to jump on and all that good stuff. Mauricio Sulaiman is out here doing his thing. All right. Now this is sloppy Mauricio Sulaiman, guys. This is him right here. All right. Let's listen to De La Hoya, how he had a different tune before he sold 30 magazine.
Their hard-earned money to
be a part of.
like you literally have to pay a percentage or a big chunk of your purse to the sanctioning, because for a belt, I would rather just buy the belt at the flea market and for a couple $100.
Right.
But the ring belt is free. The ring belt, you have to be a legend. You have to be number one fighting against number two. That's the only way you fight for it.
You gotta listen to what he just said right there. I mean, if only De La Hoya knew what De La Hoya was saying not that long ago. If only Oscar De La Hoya knew what he was saying before. This is crazy, bro. If only he knew, right? I'm trying to find the clip. Where was it? Where was that other clip? Oh, you know what? That's on YouTube. So give me a second. It's on YouTube. All right. By the way, I reached out to that other person, by the way, because I do want to, I want to make sure people like are getting the correct information. And if that information is true, that's all of the funds that have gone to the Jose Sulaiman fund, that is damning, bro. All right, like that is some damning stuff. So, I'm just gonna say that right now. Let's go to the Fight Hub website because they always steal shit from people's Instagrams and they post it. So that is what it is. You know what I mean? Where's the video? Here we go. Here it is. All right. I mean, what a change in energy from Oscar De La Hoya here. All right. Well, what a change in energy. from Oscar De La Hoya. I mean, if we just compare both De La Hoyas, it's not even the same thing.
I won't make you laugh because today I'm pretty fucking pissed off. Terrance Crawford, he told the WBC to basically go fuck themselves yesterday and is refusing to pay sanctioning fees to them for his $50 million fight against Canelo. $50 million. Did he forget where he came from? Or how he got there? How do you think you rose to that level? Through the ranking system. You get positioned to make that kind of money. I mean, come on, you're 38 years old. You've been paying sanctioning fees for a long time in the past. There's nothing new here. It's nothing groundbreaking. You had no problem when they were ranking you to fucking fight Canelo. It's like my agent getting me a huge movie and he's asking for his 10% commission of all the work he put in.
You heard
and then
that,
I tell
right?
him, you know what? Go fuck yourself.
You heard him, right? But then, like, why is there a change in energy, Oscar? Like, why? Like, all of a sudden, like, from this, like, what changed?
They're hard-earned money to
be a part of.
Like, you literally have to pay a percentage or a big chunk of your purse to the sanctioning, because for a belt, I would rather just buy the belt at the flea market and, for a couple $100.
Right.
But the ring belt is free. The ring belt, you have to be a legend.
Well, there you go. Well, I mean, how old were you when you said that, Oscar? How many you paid sanctioning fees? And how old were you when you said this? What was that? Maybe a year and a half ago, if that. Like that's how you were talking. I mean, it doesn't even sound like the same person, bro. So who is actually talking out of a script? Who? You tell me. Who actually sounds like they're talking out of a script? You tell me. I don't know. This is crazy. Oscar De La Hoya is a hypocrite, bro. He's a hypocrite. There's no other way around it. He's a hypocrite, dude. Dude's a hypocrite. That's what he is. All right. Because if you listen to this De La Hoya, right? Just completely different energy. And I want you to let's really dissect it for a moment, right? I mean, I don't even know why that's like that. Hold on. All right. I don't think you guys could hear that because I wasn't sharing your rights. So let's share it again. Let's do it again. All right. What the hell was that? Hold on. All right.
Except I won't make
We're just going to go over it again so you guys can see the difference.
you laugh because today I'm pretty fucking pissed off.
Why are you pissed off, Oscar?
Terrance Crawford, he told the WBC to basically go fuck themselves yesterday.
Did he?
And is refusing to pay sanctioning fees to them for his $50 million fight against Canelo. $50 million. Did he forget where he came from?
Did you forget where you came from, Crawford?
Or how he got there? How do you think you rose to that level? Through the ranking system. You get positioned to make that kind of money. I mean, come on, you're 38 years old.
You're 38. Oscar was 50 when he's last year, but let's keep going.
You've been paying sanctioning fees for a long time in the past. There's nothing new here. It's nothing groundbreaking. You had no problem when they were ranking you to fucking fight Canelo. It's like my agent.
Right. So
literally, I mean, it sounds like you're reading a script or something. Come on, you've been the ring mouthpiece and the chosen one since they came on board 2 years ago. We all know that. I mean, it looks.
I mean, you know a thing or two about being the ring mouthpiece.
Becoming world champions like you did, Terrance. This is not the way to behave. Look, yes, there is an agenda with TKO. Yes, they want to create one belt, one entity to control does because of those sanctioning fees that you refuse to pay, Gritty.
Guilt trip alert.
I thought you had respect for boxing and the sport. What do you think the Jose Sulaiman Foundation does because of those sanctioning fees that you refuse to pay? You know what he does? He helps these kids get off the streets. He houses ex-fighters.
All right. So that was De La Hoya just yesterday, right? Or the day before, Throwback Thursday, whatever, right? Clapback Thursday, right? That was De La Hoya. Now let's listen to De La Hoya, right? When he had an interview with Shannon Sharp not that long ago, right?
Their hard-earned money to
be a part of.
Like, you literally have to pay a percentage or a big chunk of your purse to the sanctioning, because for a belt, I would rather just buy the belt at the flea market and, you know, for a couple $100.
Right.
But the ring belt is free. The ring belt, you have to be a legend. You have to be number one fighting against number two. That's the.
So what changed exactly? Shout out to Virtuoso 191. I appreciate you being a member, brother. And yeah, I mean, the answer is obvious. Well, yeah, he fought up the rankings. I mean, that's what he did, Oscar. Like, Oscar De La Hoya believes he's like unique here. And look, if these numbers are true, right? If it's true, because now people are asking questions, right? Now, it's all going to Jose Sulaiman fund. So how much of it really, like 225,000 was going to go to the Jose Sulaiman fund? And then we got dudes like De La Hoya shaming Crawford. How dare you not give money to these kids and to these sick fighters that dying of cancer and they're living in the streets. You're fucking filthy rich, Oscar. Well, why don't you do some? Why don't you donate to the WBC's Jose Sulaiman fund? You want to feel so giving. Everybody's so giving when it's other people's money. So giving. Nothing wrong with doing good things, but you don't extort people for it. Nothing wrong with doing good things, but you shouldn't shame people for it. Oh, no, we shouldn't be doing that now. Nothing wrong with it. But stop trying to extort people. They're extorting Terrance Crawford. They're trying to shame Terrance Crawford. This is not just a, hey, you didn't pay the fee, we're going to have to strip your thing. No, this is we're going to put into question your character. Not Mauricio Sulaiman's character, which we're going to talk about in a little bit. Not his character. There's a very questionable character. Some research I did here with AI, of course. So it doesn't mean it's 100% true, but again, if a lot of this is true, right? So if a lot of this is like you need to understand here, right? In 2019, at a gala auction, a reporter raised an additional $1.2 million for the fund, right? According to WBC published booklet in 2001 to 2022, WBC raised a total of $712,655 for the fund. 2021 to 2022, this was the year that Canelo became undisputed. Canelo had, right, 2021, right? So WBC collected for the Callum Smith fight, but that was in December, so maybe not. The Yildirim fight, Billy Joe Saunders fight, Caleb Plant fight. If 80% of everything you collect goes to supposedly this fund, why do you only have $712,000 in it? When you collect sanction fees from promoters from all over the world, every single eliminator you have, you collect, right? What about all the other fighters that fought that year? Like, what about all your other champions that fought? What about all the other eliminators? What about all the other interim titles that were going on? You expect me to believe that all of it goes to help fighters in need when that's all you collected? That something doesn't sound right here. If this is the case, right? Over 12 years of operation, the fund has reported giving out over $2 million in grants to boxers. Is that a good thing? Yes. But in 12 years, you're giving out $2 million in grants. In one recent cycle, they gave out $223,000 to help 31 boxers, right? Those aren't bad things, but the numbers aren't adding up here, right? They're not adding up, bro. Let's see what this says. Crawford is backstabbing, ungrateful motherfucker, hypocrite. If he had an issue with the belt and he did it for the fight, and blah, 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 blah. Like, dudes are mad, bro. Like, dudes are so mad, right? You know who's mad? I've noticed a little bit of a pattern, bro. People that are suckers for authority are mad, right? Right? A lot of you dudes that are mad, you're probably the teacher's pet in school, right? A lot of the dudes that are mad, right? They're probably the kiss ass of the boss at work, right? A lot of the dudes that are mad are probably the first dude to fuck over a union, right? Dude trying to get together, build a union. You're probably one of the ones that like towels on them and shit, right? To fuck it all up, right? A lot like those are the people that are mad, bro. The people that are mad are the ones that make like $60 an hour, and they don't want people to make $15 minimum wage because, like, I've been working my whole life to make 16, and I just want to raise it for a dude working at a restaurant. Like, those are the type of dudes that are mad, bro. All right, those are the dudes that are mad. The dudes that are mad, typing all caps, look at all caps, right? But you want to come on, you can come on, by the way. The link's right there. You want to jump on? If you want to jump on, I mean, it's cool, right? If G-Ball wants to come on, you can come on. If you want to jump on, you can jump on, brother. It's up to you. You don't have to, right? Instead of typing all in caps, who types all in caps? Like, chill out. Typing all in caps. This ain't about Crawford beating Canelo. It's about loyalty and principles. Like who? Like, I didn't even mention Canelo. What are you talking about? I was rooting for Canelo. That's what I was rooting for. So for the life of me, I don't understand how dudes are big fans of this guy. So let's go over some of the things that have happened, right? And just some of them, right? So did you guys see what happened with first of all, Jose Sulaiman came out and he's like, he didn't pay the sanctioning fees for the Madrigal fight. And I found that weird because, Sebastian Fundora is your champion, right, at the WBC, and you were totally on board to let Errol Spence get the first crack at it, right? But then obviously there was some issues going on with that, but Fundora even got shipped to the WBO, by the way. But okay. I didn't see the WBC putting a stop to that, but here's the thing, right? I can tell you guys right now that Jose Sulaiman admittedly said that he charged a sanctioning fee to Crawford for the Madrigal fight, right? He said he created a special Riyadh season belt for the fight, right? And he said because Crawford's team or Crawford himself reached out to the WBC because they wanted to get in the rankings so they could fight for their belt, right? Now, Errol Spence was about to fight for their belt. It's just that whatever happened with Errol Spence happened, the whole whatever, right? But Errol Spence didn't need to jock for position or pay a sanctioning fee in another fight in order to get that shot. But did Ryan Garcia pay any sanctioning fees to the WBC specifically, right? when he got his ass beat by Rolly Romero? Because he's about to get a title shot, right? And he didn't seem to have had to pay any sanction. In fact, you had him suspended, right? He actually still fought while you had him suspended. You lifted the suspension, and now all of a sudden he's going to be fighting for the title, right? What are we doing? What exactly is going on here? So Crawford had to pay you to be ranked, and you think that's justified because that means he'll be able to get a future WBC title shot, and you think that's justification to charge him a sanctioning fee? So now we know for a fact that they charge sanctioning fees for these eliminators. Now we know that. We also know that he said he had to pay a sanctioning fee because he was a WBC welterweight champion and he was fighting outside of the weight class. So in order to not get stripped when they fight outside of the weight class, even if there's no pending mandatory, they have to pay a sanctioning fee. This is nuts, right? Which brings us home to what happened yesterday. Fulton doesn't make weight, right? And what happened to G-Ball? I mean, he was talking all tough, typing in caps. He doesn't want to jump out. Like, I don't want, like, well, what's, it doesn't take that much courage to click on a link and talk. It's not like I'm not asking you to do anything crazy, right? Like, it is what it is. Back to this. Look. So, Fulton misses weight. He's challenging for Foster's 130-pound title. Featherweight belt. Super featherweight. Right? He doesn't make weight. So they reward Fulton, the one that didn't make weight, by like 2 pounds. Right? Had a gut and everything. Like, this is nuts. This is crazy. Are you guys following? I can't even believe I'm going to say this, but so they make it an interim lightweight title fight. It's for the interim title. Bro, I don't want you to type in all caps. I want you to jump on and talk, brother. You could yell if you want. Just come on. Right? So anyway, Fulton doesn't make weight. He gets rewarded. The one that had to kill himself less to make the weight, the one that was moving up in weight, by the way, gets rewarded with an interim title shot. Fuck the rankings. Fuck the dudes that have been paying eliminators, sanctioning fees at lightweight. Fuck those guys, right? We're going to allow Fulton to fight for the interim lightweight title. And I'm sure Fulton will have to pay a sanctioning fee for that. Foster will now still have to pay a sanctioning fee, right? Because he's going to be fighting for an interim belt now. Just brilliant, right? And what do we know about Shakur Stevenson? Shakur Stevenson is going to be fighting Teofimo Lopez at 140 pounds. At 140 pounds, he's going to fight him. And Shakur Stevenson, all right, is still the lightweight champion. Obviously, we know that because these guys are fighting for the interim. Mauricio already revealed that Crawford was being charged a sanctioning fee because he was the welterweight champion when he was fighting Madrimov at super welterweight. So Teofimo Lopez, right, versus Shakur Stevenson. If Shakur wants to remain the lightweight champion, he'll have to pay a sanctioning fee to remain positioned to Mauricio Sulaiman. All right? That's what he's going to have to do. That's what he's going to have to do, ladies and gentlemen. This is crazy, bro. This doesn't even make sense. There was a day when dudes would be shamed and sometimes fights would get canceled if a motherfucker didn't make weight. Foster's been training to defend a 130-pound title. And the dude that doesn't make weight gets to fight for an interim belt above that? That's your decision? That's what you decided to do? What the fuck are we doing, bro? So if there's a welterweight title fight, dude doesn't make weight, fuck it, let's just make it for a 154-pound title. Like, it is what it is. What like, in what world does that even make sense? This is a bunch of nonsense, bro. In what world does that even remotely make sense? You could talk all day about, he had to pay the sanction fee to position himself to be this. Like, what are you talking about? And then Jose Sulaiman has to go to come out and be like, he will never fight another WBC champion, never again. Right? That's what he said. Like, you don't make those calls, bro. If someone happens to be a WBC champion and they get offered money by the Saudis and they take it, what are you going to do about it, Mauricio? What are you going to do about it? You're not going to collect a sanction fee from a champion? You're going to let it ride? Is that really what you're going to do? I don't buy it. Bullshit. I think you're full of shit. I think you have more authority than you really do, right? I think you think that you have more control than you actually really do, is what I think. And now you're sending your henchmen out, right? Because let me tell you guys something, and to be very clear, a lot of times accusations are confessions. So when they come out and say, Terrance Crawford, he's become a mouthpiece, he's bought out and paid for by TKO, he's out here. Like what the fuck is that? I just showed you the lawyer. I just showed you his hypocrisy. Today, how dare you say that the sanctioning bodies don't matter? But he was doing interviews not that long ago saying that it's bullshit that the fighters need to pay sanctioning fees. Right? Did Devin Haney have to pay a sanctioning fee to remain WBC champion, by the way? Did that happen? I don't know. Only Devin Haney can answer that, by the way, but these fighters better start waking up, bro, because you're getting extorted. And now people are asking questions, right? Now people are starting to question the authority. They're starting to question Jose Sulaiman. These motherfuckers are nothing but a bunch of audit-free, paid-to-play, all right, bribing, extortion machines. That's all they are. And the WBC is by far the worst of all of them. Thinking he's too good to think what the IBF talk, what the WBA talk, what the WBO talk. He's too good for that. That's not enough because I made statues, right? Because I stayed at a suite. You know, because I wanted front row seats. I wanted X amount of tickets for my guys. I want the best airlines. I want the best seats. I want to be catered to because I'm Jose Sulaiman. I'm Jose Sulaiman. Right? That's what I am. Look at this dude in the chat, deep throating Jose Sulaiman in front of everybody. Right? Projecting. That's what you're doing. I've actually criticized Turkey al-Sheikh on my platform about free speech and all those other things, and I'll continue to do that because I keep the same energy across the board. These styles in like your heroes, Oscar De La Hoya, that changes his narrative depending on the situation and the circumstance. These promoters know the money's going to run dry for them. These promoters know what's up. Oscar De La Hoya knows he's getting the hookup from Jose Sulaiman to get his fighter an unearned title shot. All right? That's just the way that is, ladies and gentlemen. That is the truth. Ladies and gentlemen, Oscar De La Hoya, like I showed you guys, and there's more about Oscar, by the way, right? So let me share this post from According to Boxing, where he breaks it down, right? Remember when Oscar De La Hoya said he wasn't going to pay the WBC sanction fees back in 2000? De La Hoya said he is taking the stand to lead fighters into a new way of thinking about sanctioning organizations. It's like this religion that you're raised with. The fighters think the world titles mean everything. It's us who make the titles. Is Oscar a hypocrite who actually had the same sentiments as Crawford? Is Oscar a puppet to WBC? This is Oscar De La Hoya, and this is a New York Daily News article. Oscar De La Hoya is either being disingenuous or naive when he says that he is not going to pay sanctioning fees to WBC, but has to pay sanction fees to WBC, but has no problem allowing his promoter, Bob Arum, to pay the fees. By the way, the promoters can pay the fees, by the way. They pay too. Everybody pays. They don't say he's taking a stand to lead fighters into a new way of thinking about sanctioned organizations. Quote, it's like this religion that you're raised with. The fighters think the world titles mean everything, but it's us who make the titles. That's what Oscar De La Hoya said. And he was spewing the same shit not that long ago. Right? And I like how G-Ball won't come on here and defend his position. I like how he likes to deep throat Jose Sulaiman, but can't even address the facts that I'm presenting. Right? He can't even address that. That's it. So he's been reduced to being nothing but a troll. Fine. You're a troll. Good job. Right? You've accomplished so much in life by being a troll. Congratulations. So there you go. It is what it is, right? All of a sudden, these guys are acting like the ring belt doesn't matter. All of a sudden, like they're the same things Oscar De La Hoya said in the past, right? So what I'm telling you guys right now, right, is that this is going to be a chain like Jose Sulaiman. They're like this cracks through the armor. People are starting to ask questions, brother. People are going to start paying a little more close attention to you now. You're even more under the microscope now, Mr. Jose Sulaiman. Sloppy Sulaiman. With your extravagant dinners, your extravagant luxury hotel rooms or suites, right? With your front row tickets. While you try to take credit for what the fighters do. When you try to take credit, right, for the fighters' paydays when you're not even the one forking out the money, you're a collector. You should have just collected your sanctioning fee and shut the fuck up. That's what you should have done. Right? Instead of gaslighting people and trying to put it out there like, oh, this is for the Jose Sulaiman fund. Oh my God, he's such a horrible person. Instead of doing that, what you should have done, right, is just shut the fuck up and just collect your money, bro. The only reason this is even a discussion is because of the greed of Jose Sulaiman. Because he created statues that nobody asked for. Because he created a ring that nobody asked for. Right? Because one of the 4 titles is owned by him. He thinks he's responsible for this event being a mega event. Then why isn't Foster, Fulton a big mega event if your belt's on the line? Marisha. You want to talk about people having responsibilities, right? Fighters have a responsibility to win their fights in order to earn title shots, but you're giving away title shots anyway. Fighters should actually be fighting in the division in question in order to be ranked, because that's the argument you made as to why you were charging Crawford a sanction fee to fight Madrimov, to keep him in the rankings. Yet somebody like Conor Benn, right, who hasn't fought at welterweight since 2022, can get a title shot right out of the gate. You tell me that's not stupid. It is what it is. With that said, that is the live. Make sure you like before you go. If you just tuned in, go to the beginning, watch it on the archive. This is D-Style. I'm out of here. Peace.